So, the real question here is, when is Elon Musk going to use his billionaire money to make an actual Iron Man suit or Batman? I promise this ties into the episode today somehow, but I went and saw, I'm going to totally date myself here, because hopefully you're listening to this in like 10 years, but I saw Spider-Man No Way Home, literally finished like an hour ago, and I love Spider-Man, so thank you that all of them are put together and all of this finally makes sense and there's some closure. Anyways, seriously, the billionaires of the world or whatever could make their own, become their own Bruce Wayne or Tony Stark. Like, I'm sure there's a subreddit out there about it that I have not read yet, but I thought you guys should know that. Let's go back. Spider-Man. Spider-Man trying to get into college. We're going to talk about college today. Did you like that segue? I just needed to talk to someone about Marvel. So, college. Yeah. In this one, Peter and MJ and Ned, right, are trying to get into MIT and having issues, right? College application. And they're like, well, even if we get in, we got to pay for it, yada, yada, yada. So, I actually got a pretty easy full ride scholarship. Let me be clear, it was 2-year full ride at my community college, but my goodness, full ride. Who cares what college it was at, and it's transferable credits, and it was like one of the most awesome thank you God opportunities I've had. Okay, so yeah, full ride scholarship. And I'm going to tell you the 5 steps it took for me to get it and for you to look for and get your own full ride as well. So come on, let's go. Hey girl, welcome to Money and Mental Peace, a podcast for Christian college girls who are done with feeling overwhelmed by the weight of student loans, cramming for the next exam, and, oh yeah, trying to figure out God's calling for your life. I get it. Don't worry, I got you. I know exactly how you feel. I'm Kara, a recovering overachiever and debt-free college graduate, and I'm going to help you find peace to quiet your racing thoughts. You will walk away equipped to bust anxiety, walk in God's purpose for your life, and even graduate college debt-free. So come on and enroll in the most stress-free and debt-free class you've ever attended, Money and Mental Peace. Grab your cold brew and TI-89 because class is now in session. Okay, before we get into this, one more thing I thought of. Elon Musk is to Batman, right? Tesla is to the Batmobile. He has a vehicle already, and I'm sure he could make it fly. So this isn't too far-fetched, people. Or Jeff Bezos. Although he just doesn't seem quite as much like the, really, billionaire scientist as much as, Musk is a little more inventor-like. Am I right? Anyways, college. They probably went to college. Let's talk about college. Okay, so we're going to do a little review. If you guys haven't watched, listened to the last episode about how I got a degree for $1,200. It lays out the first part of my associate's degree. And here we're going to talk about the whole full ride scholarship deal. Okay, so this will be a little review, but my community college, they have 2 full ride tuition options within the college and community choir and symphonic band. So these groups are open to college students and community members too, but the college students have the added perk of being able to apply for entirely complete tuition payment, which is quite amazing. The community members can just join and sing if they want to. It's not like to charge or anything. So these 2 scholarship options are available on my community college's financial aid scholarship application, but most students never search for scholarships on the school website, let alone hear about full ride options. So yeah, you might be able to find some. I'll tell you all in a bit how you can, but let's come back to here. Anyways, as I mentioned before, I was looking online for these things because I had also heard of some
local family in my church who had such scholarships before. I had been just doing, testing out of classes and then one class at a time paying cash, but I was kind of getting a little antsy to just get moving, get some classes checked off my list, get more into full time. And so I had reached out to the professor and choir director, and she said that even though it was after the deadline to apply, note that it was after the deadline, because I didn't even know about it until after the deadline. I didn't look it up till then. She said someone was not using the scholarship that they had received the coming year and was in essence giving the scholarship back, or, not taking it. And so then I could come in and audition for it. And actually, another note, one of the students, their GPA was too low or something like that, or something happened within their qualifications and eligibility, and they couldn't have the scholarship either. So that's just another clue to you guys that sometimes scholarships that are have certain requirements sometimes can be waived within the right circumstances. I have a friend who got a scholarship for women because nobody else had applied. Now, that is not always the case, but just there are a lot of options out there. So anyways, let's go back. But actually, the director was on vacation for 2 weeks because it was the summer and it was after the deadline and all that. So I had to just wait and agonize about it that whole time. I was pretty nervous and I wish I could have gotten it over with, So when the audition date came, my 2 song selections went pretty well. The sight reading was kind of horrible. But however, I still got the scholarship, and it was definitely an answer to prayer, God's guidance in that. So it turned out though that I was probably going to get the scholarship no matter what if I had done well or terrible on the audition. And I don't want to disqualify. I think I can sing reasonably well, and she let me in and whatnot. However, what I'm just saying is there was money available. I got the scholarship, and there was no one else to use it. So apparently in the past, sometimes not even enough students would audition and there would have been scholarships left over. And this can happen so often. I once heard that a college north of me it was a unique sport. It was badminton or curling or something like that. A scholarship available that was never awarded. And so basically, if anyone had applied for it, even if they weren't skilled at all or had never played again, they could have gotten the funding, I guess, and just sat on the bench or something if they didn't know how to play. Yes, there are a lot of scholarships out there that are super competitive. I totally acknowledge that. But also, there are so many that aren't even handed out to people because no one applies. This can happen so often. Students might not know or might not like playing an instrument or singing, right? But if scholarships are available like this, why don't you go try to make a joyful noise and try to sing, try to audition for something, even if you're not an accomplished singer. So seriously, you don't even have to know what scholarships will remain unrewarded because no one applied. Sometimes you just have to ask your advisor or a financial aid rep which scholarships are low competition. Even if it's $50 or $100, go for it, definitely. So let's lay out a few steps that you can take to try to find something like this. But before that, I want to note, why did I call this an easy scholarship? I was thinking because it wasn't a humongous application. It was something I had already done. I had been singing in my church worship band, for a while now. And so it was something in my niche. And to get the scholarship to keep up, you had to keep up a 2.5 GPA. I acknowledge that can be hard sometimes. But I'm talking to you guys, and I'm assuming you guys were like me just because that's who I'm gearing this podcast to. And I was more so an overachiever, so 2.5 wasn't too bad for me to keep up, and I just had to go to rehearsal Tuesday nights, and we had a few shows a year just at the college, not traveling far. So it was just easy stuff to do to get the funding, and pretty easy to reach out directly to the director and get an email back, and pretty easy also because it was following God's guidance and was just kind of dropped in my lap. Okay, so let's go through these steps, shall we? Numero uno. Okay, girl, let's just be, I'm going to go here first. Let's just pray. Step number 1 is pray. Praying for guidance, praying for direction, praying for closed doors and open windows to jump out of, safely, of course, and everything to just have direction to where you might need to be looking for scholarships or funding. It might not end up being a full ride scholarship, but these steps can apply to both a full ride scholarship you're looking for, an easier full ride, or just other random scholarships. And so, okay, so yeah, pray. I mean, simple. I can do an example. Jesus, I just really think that you're guiding me to study for this degree, to study in school and college, and but I really want it to be in your guidance and will and time. And would you please open up the situations for me to find the right scholarships and funding so that I can go to college and not have to get loans and at all to go through it, and that I can graduate and have whatever I'm earning to be the funds for my life and for serving and for you. And just please guide me in my steps. In Jesus' name, amen. Number 2 is ask your network of people. Who do you see within your family, within your friends, within just your sphere of influence at work and class and everyday life? How about church? Or just posting on Facebook, Instagram. Maybe when you listen to this now, those social media platforms will be obsolete, but oh well. Just ask whoever, even just a generic text, send it out to a bunch of people or an email or whatever, and just, this is what you're trying to do in school, and you've heard that there are a lot of scholarships out there, and do ask your friends and family if they know of any. Like I said, I knew this from family at our church that had done this previously. Also, sometimes people's companies have scholarships. Just be politely annoying, politely bug people, and ask. That's kind of the first step in initiating for all of this to happen, and ask God to open the door for, who might have some guidance for you. Number 3 is research at your school and on your school website, or with a financial aid advisor or whatnot. Honestly, people just don't look sometimes. If you go, okay, so different colleges, it can depend, but if you're currently planning on or enrolled or going to a college, you can look on the website under financial aid and then scholarships. That's normally the pathway that's taken, and just kind of peruse it for a while, see what's available, see when the deadlines are, see when the options are for different, if you're a transfer student or freshman, and then, or if you'd like, talk with specifically a financial aid advisor about what program you're in and what skills you have and what scholarships they know of. Sometimes it can be a half-hour meeting and provide you so many more options than you realized. Now, be aware they'll probably also suggest information on loans for you as well. And I'm not standing here saying that I hate people who get loans or something. I'm just saying you could just acknowledge that you're preferring to find other means, as of right now, looking into that, and ask for scholarships or grants or work study info on that specifically, other things like that. So then number 4 is looking at online databases. So this is after, let's say you've, continually been praying through all of this. You're asking your network of people, your school, and then you could go to online databases like scholarshipOwl.com. That's like the animal, the bird, and owl, right? Scholarship Owl. There's also niche.com or niche. So I'm going to spell that because sometimes people pronounce that differently. NICHE.com. There's Chegg, because sometimes you can rent textbooks at Chegg, or honestly, just Google scholarship databases. You usually have to make an account, and you can start putting your info in and filtering through and finding scholarships to apply for. And there are just tons out there, and I would suggest filtering also by deadlines so that you know like when it's coming, so you're not like, I'm gonna go apply for this one and then it's due tonight. And the last one, number 5, is reach out anyways. Just like I did with this professor, the deadline was already passed. I reached out. I said, just wondering if there's still any chance for me to audition. Maybe if, not all the scholarships were awarded or something else happened. You can follow up with, hey, I realize this is a scholarship for guys, for men, but I have all these other eligibility, I qualify otherwise, and I heard on this random podcast that a lot of scholarships are go unawarded. I'm sorry, guys. I'm stumbling over my words tonight. I think I'm tired. They go ungiven, funded, awarded to people, and would I be able to apply for it? Just like annoyingly but tactfully bug people about it. Go ahead and try and ask. Anytime that you find out there's a no, like you can't apply, but it's just because maybe there's like 1 or 2 requirements that you don't qualify for, you're not eligible for, that is a chance that you could reach out. Now, obviously, if it's something that's for like engineering and you're going to be an art teacher or something, and you have no idea what the question even is asking you to write out for the essay, like I understand there are instances that aren't really going to work, but sometimes if it's like an age range, even a gender, or sometimes even with a major or certain experience, you can just reach out and ask to apply anyways. So those are my 5 top tips to finding an easy full ride scholarship. And full disclosure, it might also be other amounts of scholarships, might not be easy, might not be full ride. However, that is what I did. Those are the steps that I have taken throughout other aspects of finding scholarships. And hey, one more thing, I'd love to help you out with it. So here's my bonus tip. I guess it's number 6 or 5.5 or something. I actually own a business where I find student scholarships for college. So I totally understand. You might have gone through this episode and been like, just the idea of spending that time reaching out to people, all those people, and, the financial aid advisor and online databases is so frustrating to me. I just want someone to do it for me. So that's where I come in. I'm kind of like your middleman. What I do is I talk with you, either on the phone or an email, and you answer kind of a list of common scholarship questions, like your past experience, future interests, major, race, ethnicity, nationality, etc., etc. And then I go about and try to find scholarships for you that you qualify for, and then I present them to you. And I do that as my business, whereas I charge less than 1% of the full amount I find you. Okay, that might have been kind of vague, but here's an example. If I find you $10 in scholarships, I mean, they're all more than $10 usually, but like if I found you $10 in scholarship opportunities, I'd charge you like $1. But then it's your responsibility to go finish applying for the scholarship, because it would be illegal for me to go and be like, my name is Sally and I'm applying for this. Like you have to do the application yourself, and I can't guarantee that you'll get the money because the scholarship judges do that. But I am able to help look for a list of scholarships that you would be eligible for. And I have different tiers, if you want me to find anywhere between $10,000, $20,000, and $30,000 in scholarship opportunities, and then you would go ahead and try to do the applying, etc. So if you would like my help, go ahead and send me an email at info@moneyandmentalpeace.com. And again, that is info@moneyandmentalpeace.com. And let me know which of these 5 steps you've tried. If you just want to hire me to find scholarships for you, and whatever else you thought about this podcast. I'd love to hear it. So also, if you graduate debt-free, go become like an inventor and then make your own Spider-Man or Iron Man or Batman or whatever suit, just remember me, okay? I really appreciate it. Hey girl. Okay, so before you run off to calculus, if this podcast has brought you any encouragement, would you please write a review on iTunes or take a screenshot, post it in your Insta stories, and tag me. Let's tell the rest of our stressed sisters that more money and peace can be attained outside of the conventional way of doing college. See you next time. Love and prayers, Kara.